Alright, ready?
Kayfabe Gimmicks! You know where to find us on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube.
Fucking #1 Kayfabe Gimmicks podcast ever, so.
How are you looking for?
Put words in the wrong place.
Are you recording all this, dude? The best wrestling podcast that's always been.
What you gonna do, brother, when the beast starts talking about wrestling and drinking whiskey and it's all crazy up in here? What's up, guys? Welcome to the Kayfabe Gimmicks podcast. I am AJ. I am hosting for Snuva tonight. He's out being a pussy, sucking dick. With us tonight, we have Roughly.
Yo, how you doing?
And the Unclean Spitter.
What up?
All right, fellas. So, in the last two nights, we have had two Raws, basically. Fastlane with every finish being a wash except for one. And, obviously, the actual Monday Night Raw last night. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty here. We're going to start out on the highest of high notes, which is the Stardust versus Goldust feud.
Right.
Either one of you want to drop your opinion first?
I'm going to say flat out, that's the kind of storytelling that every match should be doing in the ring. What happened in that squared circle was beautiful. And if every match was doing that, we'd be watching all 3 hours and not worrying about when they go to commercial.
Yeah, it had a very Southern wrestling and British type wrestling vibe to it, where they told the story in the ring, and it wasn't about high spots or this or that. It was a good match. I think it was a good match all around, except for the fucking end of it, which I think was some kind of fuck. They botched the end of it or something. I don't know.
It was a ref botch.
Yeah, the ref botch was actually pretty funny because the dude didn't get to the fucking 3 count.
He didn't give a fuck either. He was just like, ring the fucking bell.
Yeah, he was like, ring the bell. Not like, hey, let's try to fix this, try to have them go back at it for a couple minutes and have Goldust pin him. Nah, ring that bell. And I kind of wonder if that was on purpose to try to push the storyline, but if what happened post-match was going to happen no matter what, then the 3 count compared to a 2 count wouldn't have mattered.
Well, yeah, they didn't even mention it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they didn't talk about it or anything like that. I agree. I love Cody Rhodes'... Oh, I'm sorry. He'll get pissed off. Stardust's facial reactions and things like that, and all of his little...
His cat hiss.
Yeah. Pretty much all the little things that he's doing right now are reasons why I've been on his frickin' bandwagon for 5 years or 4 years.
Yep. Not to mention...
Go ahead,
Not to mention when you have two guys that have near identical movesets and they are matching each other move for move, and it's not the typical thing when you see people match each other move for move in one of these type of storylines. It didn't get in the way of the story, but you could see exactly what they were doing. It was refreshing to see that kind of energy where it wasn't the predictable kind of storytelling.
I agree.
Yeah, and he's in there with that's two dudes that can go. Goldust, even though he's up in age or whatever, I ain't never seen him move.
He's Benjamin Button, man. He is aging backwards.
Yeah, I ain't never seen him move like that, like ever, wrestling, like ever. And it just seems like, I don't know, man, something got into him.
He seems leaner than he was 3 years ago.
Oh, he is. He definitely is. He's in the best shape probably of his life, I'd say. At least he looks like it. I can't personally say because I've never seen the dude, working out in the gym or anything like that. But the way he wrestles right now is amazing. The other thing with that is I love that the crowd started. That was as bad as the crowd was in Memphis. I love that they were chanting Cody, Cody, Cody. And Cody was getting pissed off about it.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to end up, is he's going to be ditching the Stardust, because I've said this before, I think that he can't get to a certain point until he goes back to Cody and is Cody.
I agree.
And it's Cody versus Goldust.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, I'm going to push a little bit of segue here. I'm going to keep moving down the line here. We're going to go next to the Intercontinental Championship match between Barrett and Ambrose. So, really washy finish. I mean, I loved Ambrose walking away with the title after he got DQ'd. That was awesome.
Yeah, we so called that too.
Yeah, we did. Kayfabe Gimmicks on Facebook. You would have seen that if you were over there checking it out. Barrett running away. I mean, okay, cool. I don't think it was necessary, really. What'd you guys think of the match?
I thought it was great that Ambrose just walked away with it because he wasn't going to let Barrett walk away with it. That's a nice twist too.
I agree. Matt, how'd you feel about that match?
It was a good match. It was just like the fucking Dust match. It was good up until the end. It was like here's something good, and then it kind of just fluttered out at the end. But both of the people, you know, they picked it up after the, you know, washy ass finish. They picked it up and kept it, you know, added something to it instead of just letting it flutter out. You know,
the whole night was that. Yeah. Bad endings, but great aftermaths.
I agree. So with that, it brings us to Monday. See how we do that? Yeah, we transition everything together here. Where we had R-Truth on commentary as Dolph Ziggler and Bad News Barrett went at it in a one-on-one match, which Ziggler would go on to win, which at that point, Dean Ambrose would come out with the Intercontinental Championship and harass Bad News Barrett, leading to a four-way Mania. Yeah, everybody kind of in agreements there.
That's got to be where it's going because there's no reason for Truth to be at the table other than the fact that he beat Barrett on last Thursday.
And he was saying that he wanted his shot because he pinned Barrett, that, you know, he should be next in line.
I think that we've got four people who are actually great at working a match. All four of them who are used to being in bigger things. They've all been part of stables or teams. And I think that because we've got four distinct personalities, this could shape up to be one of the high points of a pretty badly booked WrestleMania.
I'd agree with that. Matt, how you feeling about that match?
Yeah, if all four of those dudes pull that match off perfectly, which they probably fucking will, because all of them got skills, it'll probably be like, it might be the opener. Well, it could be the opener, then a lower match afterwards. I think it's going to be dope. It's definitely going to have crazy fucking action in it. Because where, like, Ziggler and R-Truth might leave off, like, Wade will come up and, you know, let the psychology build a little bit more with a slower, methodical-like style.
I'd agree with that. And you have Ziggler in there to hit your high spots.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's going to be one of the better matches on the card, if not the best. It's Cena Rusev might take that spot, which, boom, segue again. Here we go into Sunday at Fastlane. We had John Cena versus Rusev, which was a tear down the house match. I'm not going to lie. I personally enjoyed the storytelling there, other than, you know, John Cena's face. Kind of distracting. So that match ended with Cena about to break the Accolade, which no one had done yet. Lana stepping into the ring, distracting the referee, Rusev low-blowing Cena, and Cena passing out in the Accolade. How's everybody feel about this one?
Well, I called this. I said that Rusev is not going to give a new move because he's too fresh for us to pop a new move on him. And I knew that it was going to be a pass out, not a tap out, because Cena don't play that.
I actually thought that it was going to be a clean win. I mean, the dick kick is whatever. It really wasn't a clean win. But I thought that they was going to give Rusev that nudge and that push for him to be the dude that fucking made Cena tap out the first time. Imagine if that would have happened. That would have been, oh shit.
So what happens if it happens at Mania then, Matt?
Same thing. It just happens later.
I'd agree with that.
If it happens at Mania, then that's supposed to be like the moment like Taker was last year.
Yeah, I mean, they might as well just, that match last night, they might as well just had a shitty ending to it and saved the whole drama of the tap out for WrestleMania instead of, you know, playing it in.
I'm going to say it, and I know this is probably going to make you guys sad. Cena's going over at Mania.
You think
It doesn't make me sad because Cena going over is a feel-good moment because we get to drop the U.S. flag, which everybody wants, instead of the Russian flag. And it's, we need feel-good moments because there's going to be lots of heel moments coming up in this Mania anyway, just because of how it's booked.
That's true.
But us getting Cena to get the strap regains its real relevance.
Also true, because it's John Cena. They're going to put the U.S. title in a storyline then.
It's John Cena being more like the John Cena that we remember 8-10 years ago.
Well, he seems to be doing better in the fucking ring than he has been in the last, 2 fucking years, really. I mean, minus the matches with Punk and Bryan, but...
And Rollins.
Yeah, it seems like he's stepping it up or something.
I thought
the promos a lot better.
Calling the spots there.
Yeah, I didn't like his promo on Raw. I didn't like it. He was like, the whole say what you want about me, but don't say nothing about Great America and all that. I was like, it was just too cheesy for me. You know what I'm saying?
I really wish that the angle was not USA versus Russia. I mean, it's still a decent angle, but if it was Cena basically saying, I'm just going to take you down because you deserve to get taken down, well, I'd probably be a bit more into it. Okay, I'm going to pose a question to you both here. Since we're talking, and we all kind of agree, at least minimally, that Cena will go over at Mania, which means he'll most likely defend it at Extreme Rules and win there. Where does Rusev go after Mania and Extreme Rules? Do you guys see him getting that push up into the main event scene, or is he going to be a mid-card guy still?
That's just it. If he doesn't go over at Mania, he just goes back down.
Do you think so, though?
I don't think forever. I think it's going to have the same effect that happened to Ryback when he got that push and then, didn't break through and win it. He went back down. I mean, he's getting back up now, but, he dropped the level from where he was, even though he came out of nowhere and was pushed to the top. I think that's what's going to happen if they have Cena go over in Mania. That's what's going to happen. Rusev's going to go back down. I mean, he's going to have his revenge match at Extreme Rules, maybe?
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
if they don't do it on the Raw afterwards, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's not going to be that simple. I kind of look at it like this, and this is, me not caring whether I'm politically correct and just speaking my mind, he's playing the Russian, Yeah. So the same way that Russia hosted the Olympics and then said, we don't care, we're just going to roll right over the Ukraine. If Cena takes the belt, Rusev's not going to care. He's going to play dirty at Extreme Rules and just take the belt back and still act like he's better than you.
Okay, I could believe that. All right, I'm going to take it. We're going to bring it to our little low point here. We've talked about some cool things so far. We're going to bring up the Divas now. So, Matt, let me hear what you thought about it. I want to hear about Sunday and Monday combined into one because there's such a little time invested in that. It's just give me your opinion on both things put together.
All right. Well, first off, the Divas have been getting better, regardless of what people say, because it's stained with the whole supermodel shit. It's been getting better, but they're taken away from what's happening on the fucking WWE programming, and they're trying to push the Total Divas show. That's why you see, like, the whole beef between those people. Like, if you watch Total Divas and watch the product, it doesn't add up. Like, they'll be hanging with each other, but then they'll have a match against each other. Like, you're seeing behind the curtain. I think they're trying to bring it back to where the whole, it's all kayfabe, basically.
They're trying to make Total Divas into a kayfabe show.
Yeah. So they're trying to make it to where it makes sense. Because if you look at Total Divas, then you watch Raw, you're like, well, what the fuck? They were just kicking it and, you know, painting their fucking toenails together or whatever. And I think they're trying to blend it better, but they just kind of fizzled it out on Monday. It just felt like, fuck, you went up on Sunday, then you kind of just went back down on Monday.
I got you. I'd agree with that. Ruff, how'd you feel? Opinions of the entirety of the situation right now?
Monday's a hashtag trended. That's
I know what you're talking about here.
Give divas a chance. And when we've got people who can honestly work great matches, because we know that people can work matches, it really, really breaks my heart because, you know, Trish Stratus is in my top 3. She is in the same placing in my heart as Triple H and Eddie Guerrero. So it's not a matter of me, you know, I'm not saying that anything about this current gen is anything of that level, but they're working it and they know that there's an interest in it. I think I've mentioned it on another episode, how the highest rated 15 minutes of Impact for months on end was when the Knockouts were doing it. It was the highest rated 15 minutes of the daily program on cable networks. And so they know that this has interest. We know that they can do the work in the ring. But nothing breaks my heart more than seeing what they did to them on Monday, but not even, was that even 45 seconds?
I don't know. I don't even understand the point of having them come out. Now, let's put this all into perspective, too, because you know what happened after Paige came out? They went to a commercial, then they did the Sting promo, then they had that match. Now, how long does that mean that Emma and Paige were just standing in the ring? 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Of just standing there? Just to have, who was it, Bree squash Emma?
Yeah.
What was the point?
It was like filler. It was just like this little filler, but like it didn't mean like a Goldberg squash match. It didn't even feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, it didn't feel like a real squash match. Like, if Awesome Kong came out and squashed someone, I love her, by the way.
Yeah.
If she came out and squashed someone, okay, I'd believe it then.
Yeah, definitely. It didn't have the same impact as something like that would have had. And I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, imagine the awkwardness of just standing in the middle of that fucking ring, just waiting for a fucking squash match.
And you're getting this kind of squash match when you're not, it's like, forget Awesome Kong and forget Beth Phoenix. Like, this, what holdout and waiting forever and having the crowd wait was for someone that's not even a Molly Holly.
Yeah.
Or
that hurts. No Gail Kim.
Okay, so I'm going to mention this because I noticed it only a couple days ago. Nikki Bella made the statement of, if I was a woman in NXT, I wouldn't currently want to move up to the main roster.
I'm with her.
And I don't think anyone blames them for that. They're a joke on the main roster, where in NXT, we just had Rival, where the women tore the building down.
They were probably the second best match of the entire event.
Yeah. And the best match was two of the best wrestlers they have in the NXT, and Finn Balor and Adrian Neville going at it. And then the best storytelling match was Kevin Owens destroying Sami Zayn. But I think best overall performance, just straight up the chemistry that those four had, was the women. And it was amazing to see. They pulled out some spots that the women on Raw would never get to do.
Why are the chicks on NXT getting a This Is Awesome chant? Because they're getting a chance to actually work matches to their ability.
Exactly. They were given a 20-minute spot for a match. The women on Raw are lucky if they get 5.
Yeah, and at one point, they were telling the divas and shit not to go hard. Like, don't go out there and kill it. You know?
Yeah, I think it was Michelle McCool told a story the one time about her and I forget who she was wrestling, but they did a DDT on the barricade and they got in trouble for it.
Yes, I heard that.
They did too high of a spot.
it seems like they're like, no, you can't show out on the men. You can't make the fucking men's matches look shitty. Like, what the fuck, you know?
I think, honestly, it all comes back down to it, and it's one of these things where you can only be over if they want you to be over. The Zack Ryder clause. And you can only wrestle the way that they want you to wrestle.
And if you want to be a superstar, they want you to look like a Superman, which is why they're always going to push big muscle, and women aren't big muscle.
Correct.
Unless you're an Awesome Kong.
Or
a Beth Phoenix or a Chyna or any of those.
Well, yeah, they got on that whole pushing the whole supermodels like Kelly Kelly. Like Kelly was really fucking shitty as a wrestler.
Yeah.
She is, when you think a shitty woman's wrestler that's just a fucking supermodel, she is that. The fucking token white chick for that.
No. Eva Marie.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
yeah. Oh my God, dude. Don't even get me started on that chick. I just want to just DDT her.
So we're going to move on from that. I know the salt is real. The NAC levels are overstatic for women's wrestling in the WWE universe, we'll call it, because it's not that in NXT. I don't know. It's complicated. And move on to the confrontation between Sting and Triple H. So, Ruff, we'll let you go first this time since Matt got to go first last time. Hit me with it.
Bat versus Hammer. Bat wins. That's the story.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Matt, I'm going to ask it to you as well. The way the promos that Triple H is cutting, doesn't it almost feel like they're trying to make Sting out to be a heel?
Yes.
I mean, I get that Triple H is trying to play that he thinks he's doing the right thing. But at the same time, all of the younger kids aren't going to understand that. The younger kids don't know who Sting is. If you're under 15, you probably have no idea who he is because he hasn't wrestled other than TNA anywhere in the last 15 years.
Ruff, you gonna go ahead? You gonna go?
It's the last invasion storyline. It's the last invasion storyline. And if you weren't around for when the invasion happened, you don't know and you don't care. So Triple H, he still has to keep himself top of the card, and he's only going to wrestle with people that he considers part of his generation. And he's the oldest generation. So I don't think he really cares about whether or not young kids get this story.
Okay. Matt, how do you feel?
Oh my God, it was killing me the entire pay-per-view. Because it isn't just like Triple H. It ain't just like him going, yo, you try to take us out, blah, blah, blah. It's the fucking good guys and the commentating good guys. That one dude, Brian, or Byron or whatever, he was like a direct quote from him. He was like, yeah, back when they tried to put us out of business. Like, dude, you wasn't around.
Byron is a heel commentator, though.
Yeah, but he's got that nice guy-like thing to him, man.
I agree. Especially because on Raw, he's a reporter who...
Yeah, he's like a reporter. But the whole point of him saying us, like, they're putting it out to where, like, basically telling all these people that... Because everybody loves Sting, Sting's the man. It's Sting. He's the icon. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, hey, this dude tried to take WWE out. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck kind of... What the fuck kind of shit is that? You don't fucking do that to fucking Sting. You say Triple H is the fucking asshole. He's the bad guy. He's just mad because Sting fucked him over. But they're like warping it into like, yo, Sting's trying to come back and put the fucking nails to us again and bury us again or whatever. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't get it. It eats me up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me cut you off here.
All right.
Now, I'm going to put it like this because Ruff touched on it, that this story might be pointed at people like us rather than the younger generation, which is rare for the WWE. WrestleMania generally has an older, smarkier crowd because it is WrestleMania. People come from all over the world to come. Do you think that because of the fact this is just a WrestleMania match, that this is how they're building the story. Because everyone who will be at WrestleMania will probably, okay, not everyone, but most of the people.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, the kids who are there, their dads probably have been watching wrestling for a long time. If their dad's willing to shell out cash to go to WrestleMania, have been watching wrestling for a long time and were fans of Sting. So I'm going to put this out there. Do you think that this storyline not only is pointed at adults, but is pointed at straight up the main event, not main event, but one of the main events of WrestleMania at that crowd?
Yes. And
it definitely is. I just feel like I just feel like, wow, everybody knows that. All right, it's geared towards us and the older crowd and whatever. So why would you say that kind of things to us to make us think this? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, they can try to paint it that way all they want to, but you're like you said, it's about a heel commentator making those kind of comments, because the entire promo, Triple H sounded like Old Scratch at the Crossroads.
Yeah.
He was playing the devil, trying to get you to sign your contract.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
Promising him the Hall of Fame and all that.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're going to move on. Now, since we just talked about Sting, I have to bring this up. How in the name of all that is holy did Sting not get a huge pop? The Memphis crowd was terrible.
They were fucking shitty, so shitty.
Now, I know we normally don't discuss crowds, but holy hell, they didn't come alive for anything.
I'm gonna throw this out here. From the way that by the time that we got to the Sting Triple H promo, there had been enough weak endings to matches. Forget the aftermaths that were solid. We had enough weak endings to matches that the crowd had lost hope because they felt like they got shortchanged. And honestly, I felt like they did.
Matt, how'd you feel?
I felt like they were just boo-boo from the beginning, dude. Like, they were just so fucking, like, they didn't care about nothing. They didn't even care when the finishes were shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't even go like, oh, fuck this. They were just like, like, fucking, they had horse tranquilizer and all the Coca-Colas or something, man. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, how you not gonna pop for Sting in the first place, okay? And even if not that, him just whipping the bat out of nowhere and pointing it right up in Triple H's chin. Like, how you not gonna pop for that? Like, oh shit. I mean, we all knew the WrestleMania match was coming, but still, I mean, come on.
That was the highest pop of the promo, though, when the bat came out.
Yeah,
I would
but
agree.
It wasn't Sting worthy in my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, I'm gonna make one more point about the crowd, and we're gonna move on. You guys can counter argue here. I don't care. The most telling thing about it to me was that they couldn't make up their mind in the Cena Rusev fight, and it was hilarious. Because you know how normally you get boo, yes, whenever guys are trading punches. Rusev would punch Cena, they'd go boo. Cena would punch Rusev, boo. So rather than boo, yes, boo, yes, boo, yes, you got boo, 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 boo as they exchanged blows. Do you guys think that was hilarious, or am I just in the vocal minority here?
Yeah, it was pretty fucking funny.
The last 2 minutes of the pre-show, the crowd was already giving a "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chant.
That's hilarious. I did not actually catch the pre-show.
And the dude telling Sting to take the deal. He's like, just take the deal.
The WCW guy.
I was like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Okay, so we're going to get on to our last two notes here. These are the big points from Sunday and Monday. And I'll ask you guys which one you want to start with. Would you guys rather discuss Reigns right now or Orton?
Let's go with Reigns. We'll end it with Orton.
Okay. So Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns had, I will admit, a very strong match.
Yeah.
I will say Daniel Bryan did a lot of the legwork there.
Yeah,
but Reigns looked decent. He absorbed the offense pretty well. He had his own offensive strings that were pretty good. He struggled to get back into the ring for that 10 count, which was bad, and the commentators even brought it up. But, oh well, one slip up does not kill you.
You gotta love JBL, man.
Yeah. So, Reigns going over, we all expected that, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Now, Sunday was not what really irked me. I honestly can survive Reigns going over, because if he keeps being the way he is, I can tolerate him. He's not Cena terrible where he's out there spilling about Jack and the Beanstalk. The thing that irked me was that not only did Daniel Bryan come out and talk up Roman Reigns, told him that he didn't respect him until last night, blah, 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 blah. Basically trying to, get Daniel Bryan's fans on the Roman Reigns side. But then Paul Heyman came out and said that he could beat Hogan, Andre the Giant, Bruno Sammartino, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, John Cena, any day, at any time in the last, 50, 60 years, 70 years?
Ridiculous.
I agree.
Ridiculous.
I agree. Matt, go ahead. Hit me with what you thought.
All right. It's obvious. This is why I don't think that he's going to have that title for very long at all, because they need all of this to convince everybody that he's good, which he's not getting bad fan support. It's not like they're booing him out the fucking building, but they got to have fucking Daniel Bryan come out there and give him the rub, then have fucking Paul Heyman come out there and fucking give him a ridiculous rub. Like, that was just like out fucking in outer space, dude. I don't even know what was going on with that. And it's ridiculous, man. I just don't understand it. I don't think that dude's gonna last. It just feels like he couldn't handle the pressure from winning the Rumble when people acted like they did, when they reacted like that. It was like it shook him, man. He can't handle that, John Cena goes out there and he handles that shit like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, people fucking, God knows what they scream at him that you don't hear, and he don't care. He shrugs it off. He's a pro. And homeboy ain't built like that yet. He's got time to go before he can, really be at that top level like that.
I'd agree. Rough opinions, anything on this situation?
First things first. What is wrong with Roman Reigns? You have to be able to sell the matches. And the Superman Punch is not an RKO out of nowhere. It's not a Stone Cold Stunner out of nowhere. It's something that is supposed to build into the move the same way that the Sweet Chin music does.
Yeah.
You need to have a build into it. And because the matches lately have had him trying to do it quickly, there's no build of the energy, and the move does not sell. On
it's
Sunday,
like he's punching somebody.
Yeah, and on Sunday night, when he hit the spear, he had been beat up for, a good solid, 5-6 minutes straight. So when he hit that spear, he still should have looked like it took all the wind out of him in order to do it. Instead, he just rolled on top confidently and took the count with it, So he's not selling the match as well. That's the basic problem with Roman Reigns. Secondly, I hate that you have to say, you're the man, I couldn't give it to you, and if all of this with multiple times of Heyman saying, of multiple times of Heyman saying that Reigns cannot beat Brock Lesnar does not turn into Heyman throwing the match at Mania, I'm going to be pissed, because that's the only way that this story remotely works for me.
I would actually agree with that. If Heyman, they could even have Heyman be a face guy for all I care. I mean, he's obviously never a good, I can't say never, but he's great as a heel. But if they did a double turn with Heyman basically tricking Brock into the loss, I agree it would be great storytelling. The thing that really kills me about everything is that the WWE doesn't want to accept the fact that Roman Reigns is never going to be John Cena. Because the thing is that as much as people hate on Cena, as much as he gets bagged on, trashed on, whatever you want to call it, John Cena truly was a once-in-a-generation talent like The Rock, like Stone Cold, like Hogan. And it wasn't because of the way that I guess it was the way he came up. He wasn't just thrown at everybody. He had an actual normal kind of rise, save for a tag team title. He won the U.S. title, 3 times before he had his feud with JBL?
Yes.
So he built organically from the inside. I know people say, oh, John Cena was the chosen one, blah, blah, blah. In the end, John Cena was the right guy at the right time.
Yeah, he's one of those dudes. The stars and everything's right.
Because Orton and Batista were obviously the actual choices for the future, if you look at how it all went. I mean, come on now. Randy Orton was the youngest winner ever of the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
He was obviously the actual guy. It didn't work out that way. Now, the reason that people don't like Reigns is because he is that guy. He's quite literally been picked to be the top guy, despite not having that organic growth. Yes, he was over as fuck in the Shield.
That's because he was in the Shield.
I was about to say most of his moments in the Shield were very simple. Yeah. He came in for the triple power bomb. He'd hit the spear. And that was about it. I mean, Rollins and Ambrose did the main parts of matches. Reigns was there to be the powerhouse. And he's got good high spots and all that kind of stuff. But in the end, it's just not an organic growth.
Yeah, he is the dude. He is the dude that's a smart take because he's the chosen one that shouldn't be chosen. That's why it's such a fucking horse pill for me to swallow with the whole Daniel Bryan just being like, oh, I couldn't beat you. I couldn't out-wrestle you. Bull fucking shit. You could have picked somebody else that would have been way more believable to say, I couldn't out-wrestle you and beat you in this match.
I agree.
Like, I felt like Bryan should have just turned heel at the end of the match at the pay-per-view. He should have just turned heel and just slapped him up real good and been treated
the winner.
We got one other chance going on with this because Bryan got Reigns back for tagging himself in at the end of the match a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but they laughed about it.
Yeah. They laughed about it. But if they decide to do this a couple more times on the way to Mania, we can still keep the heat going on between the two of them.
I don't think that'll happen, man. Honestly, I think their plan is just to use them as their main event guys and try to appease everyone by keeping Daniel Bryan in the main event.
I can hope so. I know. I'm running hope against hope. But I mean, it's honestly this whole thing of, we have multi-generation superstars and we have people who are real standouts. Even Cody's more of a standout than looking at Roman Reigns' connection to The Rock. But I mean, just because someone's got the lineage and someone's got the family history, I know that they're doing a lot of this booking off of the buddy system, but for God's sake, if he's not the guy, it doesn't matter how much you say that he's the guy. The crowd isn't going to buy it if he's not. You got to deliver.
Yeah, I mean, look how many people they've had fucking try to rub him and push him. The fucking Rock. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Like, it just ain't gonna happen for that dude. And
I agree.
They're gonna give up on it because they're realizing it because they're throwing everything they fucking got at it.
I almost feel like Steph McMahon gave it up herself last year when she said to The Miz, "There's nothing worse than a superstar that peaks too early."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kayfabing as fuck right now, but back on her.
I agree. All right, guys, we're going to move on to our last point for the night, which is obviously Randy Orton came back at Fastlane, got a fairly big pop from this crappy Memphis crowd. came in, RKO'd pretty much everybody and their mother, and Seth Rollins ran off like his girlfriend got back into his Instagram account.
He's like, oh shit, she got my phone.
Pretty much. He was hauling. So we had that happen, which was awesome. You guys agree with that?
Yeah. It was great for him to fucking run off like that. It was perfectly heel.
Okay.
It was absolutely as great as Monday was a disappointment.
I would agree with
Just
that, which
throw it
brings
out
us to the next part. On Monday, Orton opened the show. Came out still steaming mad, angry, whatever you want to call it, basically calling out Seth Rollins. Stephanie McMahon came out and basically told Randy that he should come back to the Authority, that they could have a business meeting about it and discuss everything, blah, 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 which in the end resulted in Orton rejoining the Authority, but obviously ready to turn at any second because it's not very good storytelling.
bad storytelling.
To which brought us to the main event of Raw, which we already discussed, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, blah, blah, blah. Daniel Bryan pinned Rollins. Orton was visibly upset. RKO'd Joey Mercury, I believe. And then walked over to Rollins, who was in the corner. What looked like the point where he would snap, rather than snapping, just like tapped him on the shoulder and said, all right, we'll get him next week. Do they think we're dumb? What's going on here, Ruff?
The very last 5 seconds of airtime was Randy rounding the corner with a knowing smirk on his face. They don't think that we're dumb. They don't think that we're stupid. Randy played the part perfectly because he let everyone know that it's coming. We're just going to have to wait to get that satisfaction. And he's going to play the Authority as fools the entire time. And that's what he gave us in the last 5 seconds.
Okay, let me pose you a question then. Are they losing out on the build-up to their Mania match then? Because it's obviously Rollins versus Orton at Mania, right?
Not so much. Not so much.
I think definitely it is.
Matt, fill us in. Come on, spill it.
It's so blindly obvious that it's going to happen, and it's so blindly obvious that he's going to fucking turn on the fucking bastard, and it's going to happen. The look that fucking Rollins had after Orton tapped him was like, oh, all right, don't worry about it. We'll get it later. The look on his face was just like everybody else, like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck's going on here? I mean, like, I don't know. It's just so weird that they would book it and do it like that, make it so obvious. Like, what are they going to do next? How are they going to play off of this? I'd
agree. Because at this point, they've kind of, I mean, they've told everybody what's going to happen. It's not really a question.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about a match. I don't think it's about a match against Rollins. I think it's about Orton waiting for the chance to steal the briefcase.
I don't think that'll happen though.
No way. Rollins he's the next champ, guaranteed.
I think after Reigns, Rollins is the next champ. I would agree.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be the dude. He's going to be the dude. This is going to be his year.
I'd agree with that, with the subsequent face turn from the Authority, which will get a huge pop. Okay, so we've gone through everything we wanted to discuss here tonight, right? Anybody have anything else to bring up? Want to throw something at me?
Yeah.
Tell me how cute I look tonight.
Oh, my God. Wait, you do look astonishingly beautiful this evening.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you did a great job of hosting, but there is one thing that we did miss out on.
What's that?
A pay-per-view is not supposed to be an opportunity to do promos. Pay-per-views
This is where I'm going to go.
Pay-per-views are supposed to be payoffs, not promos. And not only did we deal with the promo of Sting and Triple H, But the Taker, Bray Wyatt promo, why are we doing this in a pay-per-view?
Well, okay. I don't normally bring this kind of shit up on the podcast, but, and it makes me sad. It's not really sad because it'll be a decent build-up at least. From the sounds of it, we aren't going to see The Undertaker until WrestleMania.
You think?
Well, that's, like I said, I don't normally comment on dirt sheets. I don't like to. You know what I mean? I read them just like everybody else, but I don't like to talk about them. But from what is being reported is that Taker will not be appearing until WrestleMania to try to keep his mystique up.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's bad booking, but I mean, what does he appears what, 2 weeks before Mania now anyways? And that's just 2 appearances on each Raw? Really? So they're not really taking much away, really. I mean, it would be interesting to be like, is Taker going to show up? Like,
that's true.
I don't know. Is he? Do you think he'll actually come back after getting his ass beat by Brock Lesnar? Do you think he's actually going to come back to, is it going to happen? That's not bad booking, I don't think. And it's a great dude to do it with. Bray Wyatt's a great dude to do this with. Like, I think he'll be able to carry him good. All right, I'm going to wrap it up.
Ruff, give me your opinion. I have 2 questions for everybody after that, so go ahead.
I still got to say that I really hate this match because it's a lose-lose in my mind. If Bray wins it, then it just shows the Taker's done, and we don't want to see him go that. That's like putting your own dog down. And if Taker wins it completely takes away from Bray Wyatt.
Let me pose you this question because I've posed it to other people before. If Taker loses, Ruff, and he goes from 21-0 to 21-2 in 2 years, is the streak meaningless at that point? Does it mean anything anymore? The fact that he went all those years undefeated and now he lost 2 years in a row just mean that he was an old guy hanging around for way too long?
The only way to possibly redeem yourself is if you decide that you're going to have one more regular run where you do 30 appearances in 6 months, and you absolutely mop the floor with everybody to show that you were still relevant all along.
Okay, I can see that. All right, so we got Ruff's opinion. It's a lose-lose. Matt, I want to know, how do you feel about either Bray or Taker going over? Give me that.
I don't think Taker should lose. I don't think he should lose. But it's kind of shitty that Bray has to lose. But I don't think it would be good for Taker to come back after losing the streak just to lose again. Because then you might as well put the nail in the fucking coffin. You know what I'm saying?
Precisely. Especially because I might be in the minority here. I actually believe that it almost invalidates the streak if he loses 2 years in a row. Now, the final question for the night. Yes, you can come check us out on Facebook, Kayfabe Gimmicks. Join the discussion. There's actually always a decent one going on. Don't let Snuva distract you from that. Where's Daniel Bryan show up on the WrestleMania card?
Wow. I hope they don't try to shove him in the main event. And I'm a big Daniel Bryan fan. Like, that's my homeboy. But I don't want to see him in that main event match. I don't know. What else would they have him do? Who's he going to wrestle?
Are we getting Sheamus Bryan 3 or whatever it is basically my question.
Oh, my God. I fucking hope not.
Ruff?
So useless.
Ruff, Daniel Bryan, do you see him anywhere, or are we getting Sheamus Daniel Bryan again?
We better not. That's lousy. Well, this is, I'll say this honestly. This feels like the worst booked WrestleMania since the end of the Monday Night War.
I would agree.
Wow.
So, All right, I'm going to run down our card so far of what we have, quote unquote, confirmed for Mania. Bray Taker, Cena Rusev, Stardust Goldust, which is not confirmed, but I mean, let's be real here. It's going to happen. Andre the Giant Battle Memorial Royale.
There you go, Daniel Bryan.
Oh,
I agree.
Lord.
I agree.
Hang on, let me finish. Orton Rollins, Lesnar Reigns, Sting and H. A Divas match is probably being thrown in there. That's 8 matches already. Plus the IC title match, that puts us at 9. I mean, is there even room for Sheamus Bryan?
No.
Or is Daniel Bryan going into the Battle Royal Memorial?
Maybe Daniel Bryan's going in it, and so is Sheamus. Maybe Sheamus comes out and wins that Battle Royal.
That's what I'm thinking.
Do you guys want to, I mean, be honest, where would you like to see Daniel Bryan on this card at this point?
There's no other place for him to be except in the Memorial Royal.
Yeah, he has nothing, dude. I mean, that's the only place. It's the only fucking place.
I agree.
And he's just going to be in there. And if Sheamus comes back, Sheamus will probably win it. And that's what he'll do for Mania. He'll just be in that match.
I agree.
This is so terribly bad. With it
It's
more
fucking
bad
horrible.
booking.
This is horrible, man.
Rough.
Because we're
Ruff,
talking
I'm sorry
about
for ruining your night. I didn't mean to do this to you, man. I understand, though. Go ahead.
I mean, even more so, it's like now we've got the guy who has more heat than anybody stuck in a mid-card match that he is destined to lose. What?
Yeah. Because you know they're not going to give Bryan a rub for winning that. I mean, he doesn't need that rub.
No. Sheamus could use that coming back and winning that. He could use that.
Now, let me put this to you guys. And I will say that this would be a way that they could bring Sheamus back and probably build a decent promo, you know what I mean, between him and Bryan. Say it's him and Bryan and somebody else is the last guy and Sheamus has been acting face the whole time. And it's, I don't know, Curtis Axel, some random heel has made it that far. And they work together to try to eliminate Curtis Axel. Obviously not actually who it would be. But whenever Bryan and Sheamus are working on eliminating Curtis Axel, Sheamus turns Bryan, like Sheamus rogue kicks Bryan and chucks him over the rope and then chucks Curtis Axel over too. Would you guys be okay with a heel Sheamus versus Bryan run? Would that work for you guys?
That's not actually heel. That's not actually heel. And I'll say it like this. They gave Sheamus Finley's old tagline.
Okay.
My name is Sheamus, and I love to fight. That's the same damn thing Finley said for 20 years.
He would have to do something despicable to be heel in that match. He would have to do something really fucked up. Other than just eliminating the other opponents. He would have to do something fucked up.
If he came to fight, that means he came to win. And if he just loves to fight, it doesn't matter who he turns on because it's every man for himself when we're in a Royale.
I mean, I can see the crowd booing because, he tosses Daniel Bryan out, but it ain't not like full heel motion.
All right, guys. Well, this has been the Kayfabe Gimmicks podcast. We're going to end this thing just like Fastlane, and we're not going to give you guys any real finish to it. You can come back next week, and maybe we will. For tonight, I'm AJ. This has been Roughly.
Yo.
Unclean Spitter.
You can check them both out on Twitter. I don't know their handles. They'll have to tell you them themselves.
Real Roughly. Find me on Twitter.
You can find me at Unclean Spitter. All one word, lowercase, baby.
And you can find our podcast on Eviction Entertainment on YouTube. And you can check us out on Facebook at Kayfabe Gimmicks. Please come join the discussion. It's a very tight-knit group.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week. Peace.